Hello, this is Bill Bullard with R-CALF USA, the voice of the independent cattle producer in the United States of America. Well, this week's segment is oriented as much or more to beef consumers as it is to cattle producers. And I think that's a good thing, as many consumers listen to this weekly broadcast as well. As an organization that's been fighting for decades to address the systemic market failure within our U.S. cattle industry, we were appalled to hear and see reports of consumers unable to purchase beef for their families in grocery stores across America. The beef cases were empty. Now, this is particularly alarming given the industry's canned and tired response every time cattle prices collapse. The press prices are always explained by the law of supply and demand, they say, and the markets are functioning just fine. And then they add, all you cattle producers are simply overproducing, which has caused your cattle prices to fall. But that doesn't explain the erratic markets we've been subjected to for years, and certainly doesn't explain why there isn't enough beef for all Americans. Now, this caused us to think of how best to ensure that consumers can continually access the highest quality beef for their families, regardless of the failings of the current beef supply chain. We knew that many of our more than 5,300 cattle-producing members in 43 states offer beef for sale directly to consumers. So R-CALF USA staff went to work to develop an internet platform to connect beef consumers all across America with cattle producers in their area that can provide them with beef that is born, raised, and harvested in the United States, the best beef in the world that is produced under the very best of conditions. It took a few days to develop, but in mid-March we opened our new website, www.usabeef.org, which is a platform that invites cattle producers across America who sell beef directly to consumers to list their contact information on our user-friendly webpage. Consumers can go to this website and either look through the whole list or they can do a search for their state to find a local cattle producer who will sell beef to them that is exclusively born, raised, and harvested in the United States. As of now, there are 121 cattle producers from 30 states included on our website. This means right now, consumers can go to www.usabeef.org and contact a U.S. cattle producer close to them who can provide them with the best beef in the world. R-CALF USA and its members are offering this service direct to consumers with no strings attached. There is no fee for either consumers or cattle producers to access and use our website. In fact, we don't limit the list of cattle producers to only R-CALF USA members. Any cattle producer that offers beef directly to the consumer can take advantage of this service. All we require is that the cattle producer who include their information on our website do so only if they sell beef that is exclusively born, raised, and harvested in the United States. We also offer this service to local butchers and processors who can meet this requirement as well. Not only do we hope to meet the needs of consumers who cannot find enough beef for their families, but also we hope this website will create consumer awareness for the absolute need for Congress to pass legislation to require all beef sold in America to be labeled as to where the animal was born, raised, and harvested. This labeling is called mandatory country of origin labeling for beef, and it is needed by both beef consumers and cattle producers. This coronavirus pandemic has not only shined a spotlight on how broken our cattle markets are, but it has also revealed the inherent danger of concentrating the production of our staple food supplies in the hands of a few centralized food processing firms. Today, we know with absolute certainty that the industrialization of our food supply chain has put our food security at risk. We know that a disease outbreak or other failure of a single monolithic processing plant can cause disruptions in our supply chain that impact millions of Americans. American consumers are better served and their food supply is more secure if we have more family cattle farmers and ranchers, not less, and if we have far more packing and processing plants than we have today. But that's not the current trajectory of our industry. We're headed in the opposite direction. And today we know that that direction will lead us into the abyss. We must first overcome the coronavirus, and we will. And then we must get serious about reversing the dangerous trajectory of our entire beef supply chain. Meanwhile, though, consumers can go to www.usabeef.org and meet a U.S. cattle producer who will provide them with beef from their cattle that are born, raised, and harvested in the United States of America. If you support what we're doing, please go to our website and join with us. With that, we're out of time. Thank you and goodbye.